नमस्कार दोस्तों, स्वागत है आपका भारद्वाज गुरुकुल में, जहां सीखना होता है आसान और मजेदार। आज हम क्लास 10 आईसीएसई बायोलॉजी के एक बेहद जरूरी चैप्टर को आसान भाषा में समझेंगे, जेनेटिक्स। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं वो सफर। आज हम सीखेंगे जेनेटिक्स इन द मोस्ट सिंपल, विजुअल एंड एग्जाम रेडी वे। In this video, we learn what is heredity, dominant and recessive characters, Mendel's laws of inheritance, genotype and phenotype, monohybrid and dihybrid cross, genes and traits, sex-linked inheritance, and practice some questions on genotype and phenotype. Why do we look like our parents? Why are we different from our parents in some aspects? Why there are minor differences between siblings? So let's begin and understand all of these concepts in this chapter of genetics.
Chapter Genetics. Hereditary characters. These are the characters that are transferred from parents to the offsprings. Heredity. The process of transfer of hereditary characters from parents to the offsprings is called heredity. Father of genetics, Gregor John Mendel. Mendel's findings are also called as Mendel's laws of inheritance. So Mendel's law of inheritance include the dominant and recessive alleles. So we are going to study about them. Flower color, purple color is dominant and white is recessive. Seed color, yellow is dominant and green is recessive. Pod color, green is dominant and yellow is recessive. Seed shape, round is dominant and wrinkled is recessive. Pod shape, inflated is dominant and constricted is recessive. Flower position, axillary is dominant and terminal is recessive. Plant height, tall is dominant and dwarf is recessive. Law of dominance, that is the first law of inheritance given by Mendel. When a cross is made between two true parents, one dominant and the other recessive, the offspring has got all the characters of the dominant parent. This is called the law of dominance given by Mendel. As we can see, the phenotype is purple and white, dominant and recessive. The genotype is capital P, and for white it is small p and small p. If we make the Punnett square, we get the F1 generation as capital P, small p, and so on. So the genetic makeup for the offsprings of the given Punnett square was capital P and small p for all, and the phenotype is purple color for all. Monohybrid cross. The cross made between the two true parents where one pair of contrasting characters is known as monohybrid cross. Law of dominance represent or shows monohybrid cross. Hybrids. The F1 generation obtained so with one dominant allele and one recessive allele is known as a hybrid. Hybridization. The process of getting or obtaining hybrids is known as hybridization. Genotype. The genetic makeup of an organism is known as genotype. Phenotype. The observable characters of a gene of an organism is known as phenotype. Genes. Genes are the hereditary units of an organism. They are the only means of physical transfer through chromosome from parents to offsprings. They carry the genetic information from parents to offsprings in the form of code on the DNA in them. Every gene has got two factors in them which may be of the same type, that is, may be identical or different types. Now let's look at the second law of inheritance, that is the law of segregation or law of purity of gametes. Example of this law is Myrobalis jalapa. It is also called as the 4 o'clock plant. It has two flowers, two color flowers, the red and the white. So the red will be the dominant one and the white will be the recessive. If we make the Punnett square, we get the F1 generation as capital R and small r for all. So the genotype will be capital R and small r for all, but the color, that is the phenotype, will be pink for all, no red color. In the F1 generation, the gametes appear to be blended, but they are not mixed up. Whenever they get a chance to separate, they separate and show their features alike their parents. There is no genotype for pink color. Now if we make the F2 generation, we will see the dominant and recessive features of the offsprings which they are showing independently. Dihybrid cross. The cross made between two true parents with two pairs of contrasting characters is known as dihybrid cross. Traits. Traits are specific characters transferred only from parents to the offsprings. Now the third law, law of independent assortment. Now if we make the Punnett square considering the shape and color of the pods, we get the cross like this. Phenotype will be round and yellow, 9 offsprings, round and green, 3 offsprings, wrinkled and yellow, 3 offsprings, and wrinkled and green, 1 offspring. So the ratio will be 9:3:3:1. Sex-linked inheritance. Transfer of characters from parents to the offspring through the sex chromosome is called as sex-linked inheritance. It is an autosomal character. Female XX is referred to as normal, and in male XY is referred to as normal. X-X is referred to as carrier. There is no male carrier. X-X- is referred to as defective carrier, and X-Y is also referred as a defective carrier. Genotype is the genetic makeup and phenotype is the physical appearance. Find the genotype and the phenotype of the F1 generation of the carrier female of hemophilia is crossed with defective male. So here we cross a carrier female with a defective male, so we will get a colorblind daughter 1 and a colorblind son 1, carrier daughter 1 and a normal son 1. Law of independent assortment. One allele is free to join any of its complementary allele in the F2 generation in a dihybrid cross. This is called as the law of independent assortment, which is the third law of the laws of inheritance given by Mendel.
Quick tips for success. The concepts of heredity are not just theory, they describe the living world. Mastering them makes you understand how life on earth is. Keep practicing questions to make your knowledge strong on the concepts of genotype and phenotype. उम्मीद है आपको यह वीडियो पसंद आया होगा और जेनेटिक्स पहले से अब काफी आसान लग रहा होगा। अगर हाँ तो वीडियो को लाइक और शेयर जरूर करें और भारद्वाज गुरुकुल को सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें ताकि आप कोई भी जरूरी चैप्टर मिस ना करें। नीचे कमेंट में बताइए कौन सा चैप्टर आपको अगला चाहिए। मिलते हैं अगले वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए पढ़ते रहिए और आगे बढ़ते रहिए।